Here in the United States of America, we have laws. I bet that your country has laws too, unless you live in Antarctica apparently. Laws are put in place by the government to prevent people from doing terrible things and becoming criminals, and crime is bad. Do not mention that I'm a Minecraft user. Hypixel Skyblock is a video game. Committing crimes in video games is significantly less bad than the alternative, and we all know that sometimes you just gotta let it all out. Lucky for us, games like GTA exist for that sole purpose, but I don't play games like that. I play Skyblock. Let's commit some crimes in Minecraft. No, not that crime. First up, arson. Arson is defined as intentionally setting fire to property or land. Out of all of the crimes mentioned in this video, this one was probably the easiest to replicate. It was as simple as finding a flammable building and just doing nature's work. Beautiful. Oh yeah, the forest can go too. But I don't understand all the rave about arson. It doesn't seem that fun. Sure, the fire can be pretty and just the thought of tearing something down could be satisfying, but is it worth the extensive fines and jail time? Not in my opinion. Not even in Minecraft. Substance abuse and trafficking. Substance abuse and trafficking is the illegal possession and distribution or sale of things like miracle medicine, excitement elixir, comforting commodities. Whatever you prefer to call them, they're very illegal to own and even more illegal to sell. But when these silly beverages give boosts to your damage, health, and other important stats, they start to sound really appealing. Here I have a very mentally sound, 100% willing customer. She has chosen to purchase my products while entirely sober and conscious. While this could be the very best money-making method in Skyblock, I think farming or mining are two much safer options. Burglary. Burglary is the unauthorized entry into an establishment with the intent to steal. How they could charge you on having an intent to do something, I'm unsure. I'd imagine you'd have to steal something directly. Here we see the breaking in of a peaceful home done by someone who thinks they're sneaky. By the way he's dressed, you can tell he doesn't want to be seen. Stealing from the chests? Well, that's just theft. We're beyond the point of just intending to steal now. Truly a flawless heist. Embezzlement. Embezzlement is the theft or misuse of funds entrusted to someone from another. There's quite a few different types of embezzlement, but we'll stick to one example. Imagine if a charitable organization asks for a donation so they can help find a cure for a terrible disease, but said organization spends those funds on 15,000 cupcakes instead. Sounds frustrating from the donator's perspective, doesn't it? That's why it's considered a crime. For this very reason, non-profit businesses are legally required to file an annual tax return to the IRS, which means that all of their business expenses are provided. Blah blah blah, business is boring, let's sip on some silly syrup instead. Vandalism. Vandalism is the intentional damage or destruction of property not belonging to you. No, wrecking your own property is not considered vandalism. Remember those climate protesters from Just Stop Oil that threw tomato soup on one of Van Gogh's paintings and then decided to glue themselves to the wall of the gallery? That is deliberate vandalism. Look, no matter how passionate you are about these kinds of things, we should all be able to agree that this is just ridiculous. Okay, politics aside, vandalism is kind of fun. In Minecraft, I feel like a lot of these crimes could overlap each other. Like at one point, does setting fire to something transition from minor vandalism to arson? Or is it just as simple as if there is fire, it's arson? I'm no law expert, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Trespassing. Trespassing is the entering or loitering on someone else's property without their permission. Out where I live, you could lose your life to some armed nut job. Some people take this one really seriously. Luckily, in Hypixel Skyblock, the Crimson Isles faction guards are pretty forgiving, as they only throw you outside if you trespass. One of the first quests in the Barbarian faction's questline is to infiltrate the Mage Cathedral to find a specific NPC. It's pretty cool, and honestly, quite nerve-wracking. That's right, there's no abusing the make my day law in Skyblock. They at least stand their ground though, you have to respect them for that. Stalking. Stalking is defined as a pattern of behavior directed towards someone that causes emotional distress or fear. It includes, but isn't limited to, following, surveillancing, threatening, and overall harassing. Sometimes, I like to go out and hide in bushes so I can watch people go by. It's not stalking unless I target just one person, right? What is it, mass stalking, maybe? Is the punishment for stalking multiplied for every person that I stalk? You can't go outside and look at someone for an extended period of time without being called a creep, and this is the solution. Just don't let them know you're there. Weird? No, it's sneaky and creative. You're weird for thinking it's weird. Hey man, when opportunities present themselves, it's your responsibility to take them. Treason. Treason is an act that goes against or betrays one's country. For example, overthrowing a government. Hey, we've heard that one before. The best example of this in Skyblock was the reign of Dante. Though he turned out to be an unrighteous dictator after being elected, the uprising was still treason. But was it good treason? Is good treason even a thing? I mean, Dante was a vicious man, hell-bent on destroying the world. So was it really all bad? Well, it's all done and over now. Let's just hope he doesn't make his way back into any position of political power anytime soon. Uh-oh, it seems like the authorities have been made aware of my recent illegal activities. There is nothing I can do now to avoid the bars. But before the police inevitably appear on my doorstep, I'd at least find some comfort in knowing what I'm in for. I live in the middle of the United States, so the numbers I'll be throwing out will be the most common sentences in my state. Alright, let's figure out how long I'll be in jail for. I broke into and stole from a home, and burglary generally carries a sentence of 4 to 12 years, being a Class 3 felony. I both possessed and sold Happy Juice, and substance abuse and trafficking can get you a sentence of up to 4 years. I ran a false charity, and depending on the amount of money embezzled, it can dish out a sentence of up to 24 years. I vandalized a school in Minecraft, and since most vandalism cases are minor, they usually carry sentences of no more than 6 months. I burnt down a wooden house and an entire forest, and arson can give me another 12 years. I broke into a magical cathedral, and surprisingly, criminal trespassing can penalize me for up to 3 years. I've stalked dozens of individuals, and the maximum sentence for felony grade stalking is 5 years. We overthrew the government in Skyblock, and the minimum punishment for treason is 5 years in jail, and the maximum sentence is death. Uh-oh. Man, so here I am, sat in the slammer for 65.5 years. Was it worth it? The substances used, the buildings burnt, the money laundered. Nah, I never laundered any money, I never tried to hide anything. On the bright side though, I wasn't put down for my treason charge, but the boredom that I'm being subjected to is making me reconsider what the best outcome really was. There is not much else to do in here other than think and reflect on what I had. I've got one single regret that I've carried with me for my entire time in this prison. I wish I hadn't spent as much time playing Skyblock.